Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about kit from Nunu models. So it's something what was created in cooperation with Platts, and as you can see here we get the Honda Civic EF9 and it's 124 scale kit, and that's why it will be interesting for all car modelers who would like to have this example of the Japanese car manufacturer in their collection. So as you can see, we have this quite colorful racing marking, and the box size, I would say it's typical for this brand. So here you can see comparison with my hand. Also on the side you can notice the pictures of the finished model, or some safety advices in Japanese, and here on the opposite side you can see also some information about the kit, I guess. So assembled model will be 167 millimeters long, and also we have here the plastic which copies the real car as it's written here, so quite a I would say detailed description here. By the way, you can see the picture of the real car, so that's how it was racing in the real life, and I guess the box art copies this photo. So what we find inside is not exactly the spacious packaging. As you can see, even the car body shell is packed all together with the spruce, but it will be interesting to take a closer look together and see what is actually supplied. And we have everything in this resealable plastic bag, so that's why it will be easy to open them. And I suggest we start with the clear plastic sprue. So here it is. This one is interesting because we get the windows and also the lenses for the headlamps. So as you can see, the molding quality is really good. Maybe I can also adjust it like this under the angle so that you can see how clear these parts are. And the only question is whether we are getting some masks here, or maybe masking templates, because otherwise it might be a bit tricky to achieve the right rubber seals imitation on your model. I know that some of you professionals will be able to get it in no time, but for beginners or those who would like to spend time on some other things, I think it's always handy to have some masks included. Next, I'm opening another small plastic bag, so I will move this sprue aside and show you these chrome parts. So as you can see, they're looking quite good, and here we get again the parts for the headlamps and tail lights. So all of this will have to be covered with the clear elements which we saw just a few seconds ago. And there are also the vinyl tires. So these are the typical slick tires, but as you can see, they are also quite classic in appearance, so there are no details on the tire walls. Maybe they will be supplied as the separate stickers. And also what is actually kind of blocking the view here from this side, if I will focus the camera, you can see that we also get this nylon mesh, or synthetic mesh, which will be copying the air intake mesh. I would say it's better than nothing, so of course you can also replace it with the P parts if you have some, but that's already something what will involve additional investment in your kit. Next, we continue with another plastic sprue. So here we get two sets of the wheel rims. Maybe I'll zoom in because these sprues are quite tiny. And as you can see here, we get the one-piece wheel rims, which is rather nice, but in order to have this center hubs painted properly, you'll have probably to mask them, or maybe to paint them with a brush. That's already your pick here. And note that installation points are also classic for this manufacturer. So here we get these small pins. Try not to break them, because ask me how I know this, because sometimes it's just easier to break them off and glue them in place. But if you need the movable wheels, then you will have to be careful. Here I show you another clear sprue, again for the lenses for the lights. Next, slightly bigger white plastic sprue, which should be quick to open. Actually, it is quite good that all car body parts and also some of the mechanical parts, as far as you can see, they are molded out of white plastic, because it means you can paint it properly and you shouldn't be worried that there will be some colored plastic going from underneath. And I know that it's sometimes a problem if the kit is packing the pre-painted parts. And here, as you can see, we have the rear wing, we have this air intakes, exhaust, this is the separate bonnet. I wonder if there will be the engine included. Probably no, even though the bonnet is separate. but if it is included, then probably you can open the bonnet and expose what is inside. But the separate bumpers are also quite nice here. As you can see, the installation points are large, so it will be difficult to miss where you should install them and you should put them in place. Next, I'm just opening the plastic bag with 2 sprues inside. Because here we get the black plastic parts. I'm just checking what we have here, because as you can see, that's more of a mix of various parts. So let's zoom out and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So we have the door cards, we have the driver's seat, we have the brake rotors. And if I take a closer look at the brake rotors, yes, you will have to drill them out because the holes are solid. We also have the nice steering wheel here, some of the external elements, and also some of the suspension parts. I guess it's worth zooming in so that you can see these brake rotors with your own eyes. And it's really nice that we have the driver's seat as a one piece. The same can be said about the steering wheel. And door cards are rather simple, but I guess that's how it is on the real car, so that's why they are copied like that. And here from the opposite side you can see that we have the installation slots on all necessary spots. Next we continue also with this sprue. So here we get the floor panel and also the floor panel for the interior. And what is interesting is that here we get some fine features as well. As you can see, the wiring is copied, and it might be a good idea to pick it up with the fine brush. Here you can see also some parts for the suspension. This is more of a steering rack. And here we continue with the dashboard, which is molded together with the pedals, which is quite interesting finish, but maybe it will speed up the assembly. I do not see anything connected with an engine, so that's why it is a rather strange choice of design that we get here to have the separate bonnet, but to have at the same time we get the pre-molded doors. So you won't be able to open the doors, but you can open the bonnet where you will be able to show nothing basically. But I can show you also the car body shell, which is molded, as you remember, as a single piece part with the separate bumpers. So we just need to open it. And I'm trying to do it carefully because the shell itself, the part itself, is rather tender, so it's better not to press on it. Even though plastic looks sturdy, but I wouldn't test it, let's say. So as you can see, we have the spars in the windows, so obviously you'll have to delete it. And again, pre-molded doors. And here we get the engine bay. As you can see, also some details are present there, but obviously not the full engine bay. And here is the rear section also, which requires installation of the separate bumper. Inside there are nothing, so you just install the interior parts and you are good to go. So maybe some space for the additional details in case you have some reference material of the real car, then definitely try to add something. The first idea that comes to my mind is, for example, the wiring. Even though it's pre-molded on the floor panel, it might be also a good idea to copy more of this stuff because it will look nice in 1/24 scale. Next we continue with the decals, and there are a lot of decal sheets, to be honest. So as far as you can see, the window sills will be solved like this, and that's actually quite an interesting approach because, as you can see, these decals just to be applied on the clear parts and you should be good to go. So also quite a quick approach, so definitely something what I can accept in the car kit, I would say. Next we continue with the decal sheet, which is dedicated to the main symbols. So we have plenty of them. We also get this seat belts for driver's seat, which is really cool because you don't have to buy them separately in case you're okay with the decals as the seat belts. In case you are not, then you have to buy some textile aftermarket, but that's already your expense. And of course those bright symbols on the car, so you get them as a decals. This should be fun to align all of this stuff together, but I think the final result should be worth it. So definitely do not hurry, and then you will be rewarded with a nice looking Honda. But that's not all. We also get the assembly manual, of course, because otherwise it might be tricky to get everything together, but talking seriously, I think this kit with its parts count, it should be possible to get even without the assembly manual. But on the first page we have the short history note, and it's quite a shame that assembly manual is black and white, to be honest. But as you can see, assembly process starts with the chassis. So here you have to do already some masking because, for example, the fuel tank should be picked up. We also have some suspension elements, and also the brake rotors are being installed into the place. Then we continue with the next page where we install the air intakes. This is for the frontal section, and you could have noticed it on the box art. Also, exhaust is already in place. We continue with the wheels, then the driver's seat. Again, be sure to do some masking because I think the rear part should be black. It might be also a good idea to try to do the carbon, but carbon fiber decals are not included, so you'll have to do it by yourself. Here we have the roll cage, of course, which is assembled out of separate bars. And then we continue with interior parts. Some of the bits are going there. And as I said, this mesh is used for the air intake in the front bumper. Here we continue with the clear parts. So exactly as I said, the seals are copied with the decals. And that's quite a smart design in my opinion, which will be easier to apply on the model and should be looking as good as the pre-painted in my opinion, unless you are striving for some professional result. Next we continue here with the rear lenses, which should be pre-painted because we have the red and orange sections. The rear bumper gets in place, the rear wing as well, and then here on the next page you can see the installation of all of those three sub-assemblies together. So quite an easy process. It takes only 16 pages of assembly. Here we have the marking option, which is printed in black and white, so that's why I was saying it's a good idea to get some references. And here we have the parts map for the whole kit. So overall, I think it's a decent model even for the beginners who would like to have the Japanese race car in their collection, and you can get it in any good model shop. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.